Hey everyone, and welcome to Sagas of the Shimmering Seas. This is the Chosen Few. They are the last game on this channel. Wow, I know we had a finale on Thursday. It was a whole thingamajig, and there were some mild, I don't think anything major, but some mild spoilers at the end of that campaign um, for a question and answer phase that I did. No major spoilers, though. I don't think. A couple things that some people would be annoyed by, but I'm okay with that. Some people worked very, very hard to find a resource that this group just walked past. I think is totally fair. They didn't know the value of it. It was session one. Okay, let's dive on into this whole thing of a jig. So last we left our heroes, they had decided that they were going to go on a quest to find the missing piece of Illumina Starborn's soul, so that they could, do something with that. What that is, we don't exactly know. So our leaders of the Grand Accord, specifically Roland Starbrand, inform you of the location of this place, which is in Aberach, and is a near the wellspring, which is a famous bubbling of famous portion of the underground region that bleeds Earth's blood constantly. It's sort of the largest centralized location of Earth's blood. But this is not there. This is maybe about 2 miles from there, also underground. Someone has built a dungeon to prevent people from getting this thing. They've also built it for other reasons, but that's the primary reason they've built this dungeon. It's a dungeon to prevent people from getting Lumina Starborn's hunk of soul. Um, they don't know exactly who built this, but they are confident that it is some sort of crazy spellcaster person, probably a little bit undead, if not fully undead, also with a fascination for constructs and robots of various sorts and building creatures of that nature to help defend the place. Uh, Roland has sent some people to get some information about this place, and some have come back and some have not come back, and he has generated several rumors for you all, um, and these rumors will give you some clues about the location, but he wants to stress that they're not all necessarily true. His opinion on that matter is a little bit mixed. He has no idea if they're true or not. So let's roll on random rumor tables for everyone. Would everyone like to roll a 1d10 for me? And if you roll the same number as someone else, you might as well reroll. I was gonna do a drop down thing, but you might as well reroll. So I need 5 distinct numbers between 1 and 10. And I should roll 20 while I'm looking at it.
As this is going on, can I ask a question? Are we starting this scene kind of still on the moon?
No.
We're on Isaim now.
Yeah, we're back on easy.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted to jump into it.
Yeah.
You know.
I have a potential
Yeah, go for it.
action I'd like to take before we all kind of get
Yeah,
underway.
sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Um, as we're as we were sort of still gathered on our way or about to get underway with this, I'm going to cast Hero's Feast and make us a nice meal that we can enjoy before we get underway.
Nice. Love it. Okay. Look at that list of stuff. So again, I want to verify that all of these are. We'll do the resolution of that in just 1 second, Nat. But yes, we will definitely make that happen. I love Heroes Feast, and I want to make sure that it happens. So I'm going to give each of you a rumor. Looks like Nat rolled first. So Nat, the rumor you get is this: there are 3 pits along the cobblestone pathway that conceal secret doors at their base. There are 3 pits along the cobblestone pathway that conceal secret doors at their base. John, you got this rumor. There is an artifact that the keeper of the dungeon maintains that could destroy them easily, hidden within the tomb. There's an artifact with the power to destroy the keeper of the tomb, easily hidden within the tomb. That's 5. That's 4. I got a 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ami, the rumor you get is that the Steel Sun amulet is in fact the Lich's phylactery, and it can be destroyed by casting it into the lake of boiling mithril. Winona got a 10.
Sorry, could you just repeat that one more time?
Yes. The Steel Sun amulet is the Lich's phylactery, and it can be destroyed by casting it into the lake of boiling mithril. And let's see. Winona with a 10. The captain of the Wraith Phalanx can be bribed with a magic item. The captain of the Wraith Phalanx can be bribed with a magic item. Is that everyone? Awesome. Oh, Nika. Did I miss you in the shuffle? I did. What did you roll?
Oh, sorry.
D10.
D10?
Yeah, D10.
Okay, 1 second.
You might have to roll a couple times. You might have to roll 6 times. Even have to roll more, theoretically. Possible. Nope. 6 it is. The password to enter the tomb is flesh to steel. The password to enter the tomb is flesh to steel. Now, again, I'm not saying these are true. I'm saying these are things that Roland Oathkeeper, Roland Starbrand, the Oathkeeper, believes to be true enough that he is going to give you. At least he has enough evidence for these things, for these rumors, the scouts, the advanced crews, people who have died before you, trying to uncover this thing, because you are not the first group that they have sent to uncover this thing, have been able to keep in touch and give some information. This is the information that they've gotten. Some of it may be true, some of it may be false. Next up, Nat, can you do me a favor and roll 2d10? Thank you, John. I appreciate that. That'll be 8. So everyone's going to add 8 to their current total hit points, to their max hit points, as well as, I believe, advantage on wisdom saving throws, and then immunity to charm and fear. Did I miss anything?
Nope, that's it. Oh, immunity to poison.
And poison. I know I was missing something. Guys. I've played a lot of dungeons.
Could you say those things again?
Absolutely. You get 8 added to your hit point maximum.
Forever?
Temporary hit points? Or?
No, it's added to your hit point maximum. It stacks with temporary hit points. But it will last for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
And then you have advantage on wisdom saving throws for the next 12 hours, 24 hours, for the next 24 hours. And then you are immune to fear, you are immune to charm, and you are immune to poison. Guys, I play this game a lot.
Yes.
John says yes. I had a realization the other day that I was trying to cut down to 15 hours a week.
Not
Yes.
How do we get a sense of how the organization feels about sending us? Like, are we? I don't want to imply that we are a prized team or special, but like, how do they feel about sending us?
Let's be real.
Us when other people have failed and not returned.
We have NPC parties and PC parties. It's okay to understand that PC parties are better. No, how do they feel about sending you? I think there's a little bit of nervousness, but there's also hope. You guys have done more impossible things than other people. There's a little bit of a, let's see, what would be the word here? Mild. I want to keep it as mild as possible, but interdepartmental jealousy, because there's some signs that point to this dungeon being linked to sort of a couple of projects that a couple of other groups are kind of working passionately on. Specifically, some of the signs that tie this to the idea of undeath, when they're trying to work to deal with eradicating certain long-term undead influences, particularly a crew of people known as the Chess Gang, who have been propagating necromancy and blood magic a little bit throughout the lands, and so the desire to sort of tamp that down, that group has, and they have a little bit of like, well, it's our job to tamp that stuff down, and then like Roland's like, yeah, but it's their job to find a luminous starborn, but it's our job to tamp that stuff down, um are they nervous about it? Yes, I think they're nervous about it. People have died. They don't like people dying. They want you, and they really don't like you dying. If I kill one of you, Roland is going to be mad at me. Winona.
Yeah. Is there anything that we should keep an eye out for that would help help everyone out for their interdepartmental jealousy?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you find anything that is related to, this is going to sound ridiculous, if you find anything that seems related to dragon chess, or any scrolls or secret scrolls about lost and forbidden magical arts, those are the sorts of things that other departments are looking for. I love how I just turned this into bureaucracy. Any other questions or pre-planning things? Anyone want to cast Death Ward on anyone? That seems to be the other go-to, along with what's it called? Hero's Feast. No, no, no.
I do have a question or two about Kumi. I just was setting up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's solve it.
I was just setting up their character sheet,
Mhm.
And they have a little harmonica that they play sometimes that gives them a few spells per day. Just the ones that provided by then. What's the spell save DC, or how would I figure it out?
It will be yours.
Okay.
Your
and
familiar
then
shares your spell save DC.
The other, I think that's mostly it. I think I've got it figured out. Oh yeah. Can you? I'm not quite sure how to like find an icon for them.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Let's see. Imp like thing vibe. Imp's vibe. Yeah. Let's see what we got. I feel like. Oh, I have impresario. No, that doesn't seem right.
That's like a I feel like a punny Halloween costume waiting to happen.
Let's see. I kind of like this. This is just my vibe, admittedly, but let's see. Kind of like that.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's huge. So I'll shrink it down. But yeah, there you go. I kind of like those. I got a whole bunch of those. I got a pack of these very clean, like outlined icon things that I am fond of, and I use them all the time. They are very convenient. Yes, Kumi and Rasha will also benefit from the feast. That is true. Assuming they eat or choose to eat or whatever. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So you make your way to Abarak and underground, and you make your way down. Hero's Feast does not wear off because you obviously time it appropriately. just clarifying things. Okay. Underground, there are a group of elves and goblins that are camped outside the entrance to this place. They seem to be jovial and are eating some food. It is dark down here. And unless everyone has dark vision, which I think none of you do, I need to know what you're using for light and who's holding it, if there is a need to hold it.
Ironically, I think Celexa is maybe the only one who can see in the dark.
Nice. Yes, that seems true because of their spells. Because of your.
Well, I have blind sense, so if I'm able to hear, I
up
can.
to 10 feet. Yes.
Yeah, so not too far, but.
Yes.
Has a torch.
You have a torch. Excellent. So you light your torch. Excellent. So you are holding a torch then.
Oh, maybe that's not a good idea. Does anyone have like magic? No.
I can hold a torch if you'd prefer, and so that you can hold your special sword. Well, your sword is intensely magical, doesn't it glow or something? That's a thing.
I mean,
magic
you
things
could
do.
just like hit me every couple seconds, and
That would hurt me.
Yeah, sure, I can cast the light spell. Which actually I swapped out a spell for it like just a couple of levels ago when I could swap out cantrips, and I've never used it, so it was good timing.
Wow, there you go.
So let's see. Okay, so an object. Okay, I'll light. How about I light ruin?
Absolutely. So ruin starts glowing. That's not intimidating or scary at all. It's definitely not even a little bit. I'm not at all intimidated and scared from over here. Yeah, absolutely. So ruin starts glowing in the dark. And you hear like again this group of goblins and elves mostly, just chatting, and they're sort of laughing a little bit. And one of their like scouts like sees you guys coming and like shields his eyes from light and says, who are you?
I'm Nova.
Oh, excellent. We've been expecting you. Come. And sort of guides you over to the group. And the group is there outside, and they look around at you guys, and one of them, we're from the Grand Accord, and we've been sent here to sort of make sure that nothing escapes the room, and just sort of make sure that it's okay. We've had a couple of weird things come out, so we've been taking them down, making sure that they don't get further than that. Yes, of course. And we were told to hold this for you, to hold the door for you until you guys came and entered and began to solve the problem. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, of course. As you can see by the light of that big sword, there is over there a staircase descending down, and that'll take you into the outer chambers of the we don't really have a word for it, but of the place.
Dungeon?
I mean, I don't know that anyone's really imprisoned there, but sure. I guess it's a good catch-all.
Inverted tower, perhaps?
Yes. It's not really that, though.
Spooky place.
Spooky place. That seems highly accurate. Yes, I like that. That seems accurate.
What sort of things have come out?
Oh, man, let me tell you, it's wild. Have you ever seen, like, a creature that's made of, like, blocks of stone that sort of crunch against each other and move and whir and whatever, and then like there's skulls on it too.
Huh.
And what did you do when you were confronted with this creature?
Oh, well, I don't want to brag, but I'm a little bit of a wizard. And so I attacked it with fire.
How did that work?
Okay. Didn't seem bad.
Okay.
Well, did you kill it, or did you drive it away, or what happened?
Oh, no, we totally demolished it. It's a pile of ash over there.
Wait, so you're saying you said it was made of stone?
Like, I don't know what you call that stuff. I mean, parts of it seemed like stone, parts of it seemed like metal. It had a lot going on, and parts of it seemed like bone.
Is it bone metal?
No.
No. Okay.
Narash wants to wander over and investigate this ash that this creature is talking about.
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
Can Nova help?
Sure. Roll it at advantage.
Great. That's a 15.
Gotta love it. Yeah. I mean, I think he's actually kind of described it well. There's basically a pile of ash. They seem to have defeated the creature, followed by like destroying it slowly with fire. You find inside of it like a part of like a metal pauldron. One second is you find part of like a metal pauldron. You find a part of like a mostly burnt away skull. You find part of like a it almost looks like a brick.
Sorry, you said pauldron, and I'm not sure what that means.
It's a metal pauldron, would be like a metal shoulder piece.
Gotcha.
They're famous for in being in World of Warcraft. Giant pauldrons are like a style choice because they were all powerful.
Is there anything to? I mean, it's pretty clear to Narash that this must be some sort of magical creature, but is it clear what? How should I put this? What type of creature it was?
Yeah, with a 15, I'll tell you that it is some sort of disturbing, unholy abomination that is a cross between necromancy and the undead and constructs, or creatures that are more mechanistic in nature. And the idea of combining these two things is disturbing.
It's weird science.
That's exactly right. Weird science. You got it in one.
Okay. What sort of? Actually, I guess I can say this in character. What do we know, or what sort of defenses do we have against this kind of creature collectively? Maybe starting with undead.
We're analyzing the creature. The creature is a weird combination of undeath and construct.
Which is funny because it's like, is it that it's alive again or was never alive in the first place? Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's definitely sitting in that weird line. So I think the elf comes over and says, it was quite difficult to defeat. It's many of my arrows reflected right off the power of the beast. And sometimes we could get like some good lucky hits on, but it took all 10 of us to really take the thing down. Fortunately, none of us died, although Bruno there got very injured. And then Bruno like pops his head up and says, and like waves a hand, and his hand just has like this huge gash across it.
Ugh.
Sorry, I zoned out for a second. What do we know that can hurt it?
I mean, just our attacks were able to damage it. It wasn't immune to anything or resistant or that we could tell, but it was quite strong.
So is this the only being that has come out while you've been here?
Well, we've been here, but we've only been on duty for 10 or 12 hours. 12-hour. It's a 12-hour shift, but we're in hour 10 now.
So this beast came out alone.
Yes, but it was huge.
Hmm.
I honestly had never seen anything quite so large before, but I'm not the most experienced.
It came
So,
out.
like, you've seen bigger things, I'm sure. You guys are all like big kahunas, you know?
Are you the chess gang? Any chance?
No.
Oh. Okay.
It,
I
it
guess
came
we
out.
have to be.
Sorry.
Hmm.
It came out through the front door.
Yes. Up the stairs, right over there.
Yes, yes. Is this path cobblestone?
No.
Okay.
Marble.
Okay.
Do we know of any other ways in and out other than this front door?
We've done some searches and we haven't found anything, but I don't want to guarantee that we're right. The trickiness of people that make things, sometimes they're tricky.
Well said.
Yeah, what kind of sadistic monster puts 2 entrances to a building underground?
The building that's up to code, I assume.
Okay, but that makes it much harder to like know that you're going in the right way, you know?
Can we investigate the door?
Sure. Yeah. So you walk up to the door. Door is ugly. Big metal door. Very clearly has like a little bit of marble sticking out the front of it. And yeah, that's the deal there.
Oh, sorry. One more question. We were told that this building was built um, in part to, or mostly to house the piece of Illumina, right?
Yes.
So is everything pretty new then?
Yes.
Okay.
So far as you've seen, everything is relatively new. Certainly from the outside here. The door looks new, the staircase looks new.
And just to be clear, they haven't been inside the door yet, right?
No.
Okay.
No, the door opened, this horrible creature came out, they killed it with they destroyed it with sorcerer's fire. And then moved on.
The door closed again.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And have they tried to open it? Have you?
No. Others have, but not them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, others have tried to recover things, but the Grand Accord lost enough people going into this place that they decided, okay, what we're going to do is hold this place until one of our top teams can actually get it, and hopefully they will survive.
Got it. Interesting. Would you like? I'm asking this.
Yeah.
Kind of like generally to the party / anybody who happens to be there, like in character. Would you call this like a tomb, or do you think a tomb would be something that would be like inside this place? Does this feel like a tomb to you? Anybody?
It feels like a door.
That's fair. I mean, tombs have doors.
Seems like you know quite a bit about tombs, so.
I would say it could be considered a tomb if there are a lot of dead things inside.
Yes, and undead things.
Well, then this is definitely a tomb.
Although a tomb, I think, implies that they were dead when they came in and implied to not be dead or to stay dead.
Well, this building has to have some degree of history, like whatever this is. I mean, obviously this is a relatively new construct, but you would imagine that it's got to have some degree of history. Otherwise, why would anyone build something here?
All right. Well, shall we go?
Good luck. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, says Bruno, waving his gashed hand. So you guys, the door swings open easily, and there's a marble staircase down.
Is it lit inside?
There is light at the bottom of the staircase, probably about 40 feet down. It's a big staircase. It's like one of those big staircases on the hills in San Francisco. Big staircase heading down about 40 feet down. And yeah, at the bottom of that, you can see that there's a green light sort of pulsing.
Hmm. Nova, how do you feel about going first?
I got the light.
I don't want to be that guy. But I personally feel like also our adept rogue should be near the front of the party too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Thea, you can go first. That's fine. I'll protect you.
All right, just shine that light, nice and bright.
Will do.
Okay, so it sounds like Thea's in front with Nova immediately behind. Who's in back?
I don't mind.
Okay, excellent. Timothy's in back with the spellcaster sort of crunched in the middle. Sounds good to me. Okay. The marble steps leading down to this room are flanked by torches. The torches are not lit though, but they easily could be. But each of them has a sconce, and the sconce is a skull made of iron.
Oh.
Hmm?
I said subtle.
Subtle, yes, I know. As you enter into the room, or as Thea like scouts ahead and looks into the room, you see that there are large pillars that are supporting a ceiling that's about 50 feet above. Images of skeletal figures being crushed in large vices are etched into the surfaces of these pillars. There are tattered banners bearing symbols of various things that dangle from walls. A human skull with emerald eyes and a horned helmet sits atop a pedestal of shadow in the center of this area. And at the far end of the room, a skeleton draped in tattered cloaks reclines in a throne set atop a tier. A crimson blindfold is wrapped around its eyeless sockets. Classic.
Wow. Does anyone else feel the decor is trying a little too hard? Let's get some Martha Stewart up in here. Do we detect any motion from either the skeleton or the skull?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Do we know anything about like symbolism of a skull with emerald eyes, or like or
Yeah,
anything?
why don't you roll an Arcana check?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make an Arcana check. Oh yeah.
Well, I'll use guidance on this.
Sure. Guide that Arcana check.
All right. Let's see what Nova knows about Arcana. That's a 20.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Wait, is that how guidance works?
No. That's an 18 plus a D4.
18 plus a D4 is a 20.
It's 20. Either way, same thing. Not looking at the screen. I'm not looking at your rolls, so if you can announce them for me, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, yeah. We don't have a full understanding of this. I don't think there's a way for Nova to have a full understanding of this. I don't think there's a way for any of you to really have a full understanding of this. But for whatever reason, a while ago, there was a lich named Galantry, and Galantry famously in his skeleton had a string of rubies embedded all throughout them in a line. And ever since then, almost all depictions of liches and almost all liches have had gemstones somewhere in them. And a common one is a gemstone eye, but other people will have gemstones like embedded physically in their bone. So it is a very common lich thing, and there's a presumption. I want to say that it's right or wrong. It's totally right. But there's a presumption that dark magic or some sort of other thing comes from having these gemstones. Because the like liches do them all the time, it's presumed that liches are doing it for a dark magical reason rather than for like no reason. It's not just an aesthetic choice. They probably have a reason for it. There you go. That's my, you know. Yes, Nova.
Is there a obvious way to go from this room?
Yes, there is a set of double doors on the other side.
Well,
So
shall
we
we
entered
try?
in from this side. There's pillars across this room. There's a guy sitting in a chair. There's a pedestal over there. Yeah.
Well, shall we try the doors?
Sounds logical.
I'm
Okay.
not sure how Narash feels about leaving this skeleton behind them, not knowing what it might be or be capable of. So I want to come a little closer to the skeleton and see if I can investigate anything about it, whether it might actually be an undead creature that could follow us.
Sure. Yeah. So you get close to the skeleton, and the skeleton suddenly stands up and holds forth a box and opens the box, and inside is a deck of cards.
Oh no.
I like cards. Narash says, sort of like jokingly, but is very uneasy about this situation. I'm gonna like start to reach out my hand, but then look back at the crew.
We could try the doors first.
I'm feeling lucky, and I'm gonna grab the card.
You want to take a random card?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna actually do it. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Nika, I apologize. I have to recall your cards because I can't have multiple decks going at once.
Okay.
We'll figure out how to deal with that later if we need to. We're going to
Got
recall cards, and we're going to shuffle the deck. Excellent, Nat. If you could reach over to the deck over there, when a card moves on, it's on your screen. It should be visible. It's a pink deck.
Yeah.
If you click and drag it away, it will. Or if you just click a card, it'll pop up for you on your screen. Just click once.
Okay. Got it.
Beautiful. The 8 of spades. And the 8, let's translate that into words that mean something to me.
We get the artifact. It's perfect. We leave. Everyone's
No, isn't it just so conveniently great? Oh, I love it.
Works every time.
Not the worst, not the best. You will watch as Narash turns into a toad.
I mean, seems only appropriate, right?
Did Narash just do that, or did the card do that? Yeah.
Timothy's gonna pick up Narash, the toad. Oh wait, is it a toad-sized toad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Narash, can you hear us? Narash, give us a sign if you're there. I think that's yes.
Oh man. Okay. Am I Narash? Like, am I still in my right mind?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I perceive that I've become a toad.
Yes. Also, you have approached close enough that the skeleton now offers it to you, Timothy.
I don't want your evil sorcery cards. One moment, please.
The toad says, do it.
Well, no, this is how you got into this mess.
Well, okay. In addition to being a shapeshifter, I do have as a 14 plus level druid the ability to just like do a kind of free shift. Yep. So I'm gonna just shift back to Narash form.
Yep. It works easily, no problem. This might have been more of an inconvenience had it hit someone besides Narash, but it was literally like the most mild of punishments for Narash.
Nova's gonna go and try the doors.
Yeah, the door opens easily.
Why didn't we just try the doors?
I just felt like we needed to know if this was something that was going to follow us or hound us as we made our way beyond. But it seems like just a little casual trickster.
Uh-huh.
Can I look at the eyes while I'm there next to the box?
Its eyes are covered via the sorry. So there's just remember there's two things. There's a skull on an altar, and then there's this blindfolded skeleton. So it's blind. So this is the one with the blindfold. The skull on the altar has emerald eyes.
Got it.
Sorry, just to be clear.
All right. Are we continuing on, or
Could this skull with the eyes be an artifact that the keeper of the dungeon maintains easily hidden in the tomb? Should we take it? I mean, something bad could happen, but should we take it?
Well, can I? So we've investigated this guy with the cards. Could I do an Arcana check on the skull?
We already did an Arcana check on the skull to get like information about the eyes there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
About the tradition of liches and gemstones embedded in their skulls.
Well, we could take it in case it ends up being valuable to us.
yeah? My other thought, which is horrible, would be to pluck out the eyes and put them in the blindfolded skull socket eyes. Just, I don't know. I have a good feeling about it.
That sounds fun.
I mean,
I
this
guess-
place does need redecorating, so.
Yeah, that's the redecoration it needs. Sorry, that's what fixes the dungeon.
Well, maybe let's see what's underneath the blindfold first.
Yeah,
Great.
sure.
Yeah,
Did you pull up the blindfold?
I do it with my fishing pole.
Okay, paint this picture for me.
He swings a hook out. It hooks the cloth. It's a cloth,
Yeah.
right? And he just like reels
Yeah.
it up.
So you pull it back, and inside you see like the interior workings of a watch or a clock.
Huh. Mechanical.
You still want to put the eyes in there?
No, it seems silly now.
I mean, we
Um,
can see if the
well-
eyes come out of the other one.
While you have your fishing rod out, it's just laying there on that pedestal, just waiting to be taken. But I just can't help thinking how it seems like a trap. Maybe you could just pick it up with the fishing rod.
You want me to catch a skull with my fishing rod?
For anybody else, that would be a lot to ask. But for you, Timothy,
Yeah, okay, fine. Eh.
Yeah, roll a acrobatics check, I think. Or you're trained in fishing. Never mind, roll a fishing check with dexterity.
Great.
What'd you get?
A 17.
Yeah, you pull the skull off. I think it lands on the ground a little bit. It doesn't like come cleanly high off because it's a little bit heavy. It's in fact heavier than you would expect a skull to be. And your fishing like hook gets a little bent. You've got extras, so it's not a big deal, but it gets bent pulling it off because of how heavy it is. Drag it across the floor to you. What happens?
Timothy, goes ahead and just picks it up then off.
Oh my god, it's made of solid iron again.
Ugh.
Not a real skull. It is an iron skull.
He throws it to Nova.
Oh, great.
Nova, now you are now holding an iron skull with emerald eyes. Oh wait, looking closely at it, the emerald eyes Those are cheap quartz.
Great.
Cheap what? Sorry.
Quartz.
Oh, quartz. Okay. Oh,
Well,
dear.
maybe we can use this to, in case we come across something heavy and important, we can like just go whoop and switch them.
Sounds good.
All right, Nova. Maybe you were right. Let's just get out of here.
Okay. Are you you're bringing the skull with you then?
Yeah, I put it in my backpack.
Cool.
But as we're leaving the room, can Timothy use his ranger sense and see if he feels any of his favorite enemies down
Who
here?
are your favorite enemies?
I don't know if they'll apply, but they are beasts, aberrations, and celestials.
I am so certain that I put an aberration somewhere in this dungeon, but I don't remember. And I don't really want to scroll through the whole thing to look for like, yes, there's an aberration on page 733 or whatever of this dungeon. So
Okay,
I'm just gonna say you trigger the aberration thing. I am so confident of that. The odds that there are a dungeon that I didn't put an aberration in are so low that there's an aberration. You sense it.
But it's
Maybe
like,
more than one.
okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Out of laziness. I don't want to like ruin your cool ability, but
No.
okay.
I don't get like an overwhelming like celestials back. It's a trap.
No, this is no, definitely not. I don't. Definitely no celestials. There might be a beast somewhere, but I don't think so. But definitely no celestials. Almost certainly an aberration. I'm just too lazy to look it up. The vibe here is definitely construct and undead. Those are the vibes, the primary vibes. But any good dungeon has the primary vibes and then the secondary vibes and then like the random bullshit. And so
That's
the aberration is almost
We're gonna
certainly
write that down. Any good dungeon has the primary vibes, the secondary vibes, and some random bullshit.
It's from my Patreon post on how to find a good dungeon. Not even slightly kidding.
I'd read it.
Thank you. Okay. So double doors in front of you. You want to open them?
Push.
Okay. Yeah, they push open. A cobblestone path set into the floor winds toward a set of heavy iron doors. A helmeted skull is embossed on the door's surface. A 10-foot wide pit lies open nearby, a faint emerald glow pulsing from its depths. And the air is heavy with the odor of smelted iron, as if a forge burned nearby.
Now, listen, everyone, this is just a rumor. But I heard that there is a cobblestone pathway with 3 pits that have secret doors at their base.
Wait, how many pits? We just see one pit right now, right?
Yes. And it has green pulsating from its depths.
That must be a different cobblestone pathway with pits.
Maybe they just got the pits and the doors mixed up. There's 3 doors.
Can we do like a perception or investigation check?
Absolutely. Why don't you make a perception check for me? If you're looking, and an investigation check if you're surfing.
I'm looking.
Perceive away.
That's a 23.
A 23 is a beautiful number. Yeah, you definitely spot that some of the cobblestones are slightly raised. It's not a lot. It's actually pretty subtle. It's only about like half a centimeter high. Barely enough to even trip on, but you do notice that there's like a couple of different spots. In fact, looking at it now, down the hallway, you see 4 different 10-foot grids that are slightly raised, along with the hole next that's on this side.
Okay. There's something really interesting going on with these cobblestones, folks. We could just go straight through, go to the door, look in the pit that we can see, but I think we should check this out. And I'm going to walk over to the closest of the grids.
Actually,
This
before
one's the
you,
one that's already open.
Oh,
This one's already collapsed in, and you look down and you see broken cobblestones over spikes, about 10 feet down, as well as at each of the corners of this pit, you see like a weird construction. It looks I don't know. It looks like it's got many little tiny clockwork mechanisms, and it seems to be like pointing like a cylinder towards the center of the pit. Um, and there's 4 of them. There's one in each corner of this 10 by 10 pit. They're kind of small, like maybe 4 on length, I would say. And then in the middle of the pit, you see a dead body.
I would, go out on a limb and say, let's not step on the raised cobblestones.
yeah, maybe not.
is there some detritus that's just around on the ground that I can pick up and throw into the pit to see what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you can. I don't think there's any detritus. It's not that old. But you probably have something in your bag that you don't need, ball bearing or something.
Sure. Yeah, I take out. I have like a couple of we'll say coins, and I'll just toss one into the pit.
Yeah, so you toss a coin into the pit, and as it hits, as it gets low, suddenly the 4 cornered things all start buzzing and whirring, and then boom, a blast, almost not dissimilar from a laser blast that you've seen from Thea's weaponry, shoots and just hits the coin.
D-
It looks
does it-
sickening and green in color.
Does it make the coin glow, or does it obliterate it, or anything like that?
Yeah, the coin is definitely obliterated. Now, a coin has a lot less hit points than you, but the coin is definitely obliterated.
Sure. Yeah, Nova, I think maybe you're right. And yet, I heard this rumor about the trapdoors, which could potentially give us maybe a safer way to enter than just going in through the front door the way we are.
Well, so I can hear if something's nearby. Maybe I can at least stand next to one of these unopened pits
Mhm.
and just sense if something's in there.
Sense if something's in the pit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna go up to the. So you see the first pit is let's see, that would be 20 feet into the room on the right hand side, and you just sort of press your ear near it, and you listen. I'll give you advantage on your perception check.
Okay.
If it's within 10 feet, I'll just grant it to you because of blind sense. But either way, I'll give you advantage on your perception check.
Okay. 22.
You don't hear anything inside the first pit.
Okay.
Or rather, I should probably call it. I'm going to call it the second pit. The first pit's already open.
And nothing in here. At least nothing alive. Can I check the other 2?
Yeah, so you go to the second pit of 5. So you go to the third pit of 5.
Okay.
And the third pit is on the left-hand side this time. And yeah, you press your ear to it. You don't hear anything.
Okay. Can I do the last 2?
Yeah, they're sort of positioned in such a way that you'd have to. Now the pits are like so close to each other that they are right on top of each other almost. So you have to make a little bit of a jump. Can you make an acrobatics check for me?
22.
Yes, you easily hop to something that's not raised, and you lean down and listen. You don't hear anything.
Clear.
You want to jump to the last one? You'll again have to jump. This is a little bit of a harder jump.
Yeah.
Okay, acrobatics check.
30.
No problem. Jump to the last one. Listen to the last one. You don't hear anything.
I yell across. Yeah, there's nothing in these.
So just to make sure I'm getting the right picture, we're calling them pits, but in fact they're just raised areas in the cobblestone that we assume that there are pits underneath.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are 5 pits, and this rumor that I heard was that 3 of them had trapdoors. I wonder if it's worthwhile to just try one of these and see what we find underneath.
I have something with me that I have been carrying around for a long time, and I have no idea if it would be at all helpful, but I kind of want to give it a try. But I think that I need your help, Timothy. Once again, if you wouldn't mind being the wielding your trusty fishing pole.
And you all made fun of me for bringing a fishing rod to a dungeon. Yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna make fun of you for bringing a fishing rod to it. Sorry.
So Alexa pulls out a mirror, which she's had since episode 1, and never used. And I'm just I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I'm curious about what'll happen if one of those beams like hits the mirror.
That's a cool idea.
Maybe if I don't know if it reflects the beams or something, maybe we could either use it to open the trap door, or we could use a mirror to like protect somebody very tiny as they go and investigate the bottom. That's my idea. I don't know. Do you think you want to give it a shot?
Sure, yeah, I can make it work.
So the plan here is we're going to attach the mirror to the end of the fishing rod, and then drop the fishing rod, not the fishing rod, but fish with the fishing rod, extend the line. There you go. That's a fishing term. Down into the pit to see how the mirror interacts with the lasers, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, well, or even if we just want to like hold it in front of one of the little laser things, like maybe we can get it to like, if the mirror works, maybe I don't know. Well, let's just see.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay. The details are up to Timothy. I probably can't see well enough.
You can't control it that well. So Timothy, what are you trying to do with this mirror on the end of your fishing rod?
I guess as I lower it, maybe look in the mirror and see if there are any other angles that we haven't noticed.
Ooh, roll a perception check. Yeah, I'm not going to give you advantage, but I will allow you to roll a perception check that I wouldn't before.
Okay. It's an 11.
It's hard to see. You need to get down there. The mirror is reflecting only small portions of it, and like it turns. Maybe there's something more, but it's hard to tell.
And as it approaches the laser, I think he'll ask Thea for help to kind of stabilize it in the right spot, and then try to line it up perfectly so laser will hit it like straight on.
Absolutely. Thea, you want to help?
Actually, I have telekinesis. I forgot. I've never used this ability, but I could actually stabilize the mirror as it dangles.
Beautiful. Yeah. So we'll call that. I think we're gonna have Timothy. Why don't you roll? We're gonna give this a fishing rod. We're gonna give it dexterity, and we're gonna give you advantage from the help that you're getting from your telekinetic powers.
31.
31. That's not. Is that a crit? No.
No.
No. Just got that high a modifier.
There.
Wow. Yeah. Absolutely. So it gets down there and it triggers one mirror instantly, and that mirror shoots at it. It reflects back and destroys the thing, and then you realize, oh shoot, the back of the mirror is triggering the other 3. You've got to, if you want to save this mirror, you've got to spin it around instantly. Do you want to roll a dexterity saving throw?
Sure.
For the mirror.
For the mirror. Is this at advantage or straight?
Straight.
16.
16. Yeah. So the blasts all reflect off the mirror. It doesn't get destroyed from behind, and hit various parts of the walls. But it seems like one blast only.
So what have we learned today?
I was just gonna ask that.
Well, a mirror can destroy the thing that's shooting the laser.
And these things get destroyed by lasers.
Oh yeah. Hey, Thea, you got that laser gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to aim? It's tricky to hit these things, but I'll give you advantage on your shots if you want to take the time to aim to destroy them.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Take 3 shots. Okay, 29, 29, and 22. All 3 of those are going to hit. All 3 of those things, they're all destroyed. So now there's just spikes at the bottom of this bit, but if you go slowly, you can avoid them.
Narash, you wanna climb in?
Okay. I'm gonna climb in and attempt to worm my way through the spikes to see if I can discover anything.
Sure, absolutely. Narash, can you roll a athletics check to climb down?
Oh, athletics.
Yeah.
Not my principal talent. I'm going to definitely use guidance on myself.
Good call.
Okay, that's a 14 plus 3, 17.
Wow. Despite the fact that the walls are almost sheer, you manage to just get your claws right in the right places and are able to just climb down the side of this wall. There's just enough damage that you climb down without stabbing yourself on spikes.
Also, while Narash is clinging to the wall, Kumi jumps on your head and scampers down upside down down your body and crawls down into the bottom of the pit.
Kumi has no problem. This is easy for you.
Watch out for that manticore tail. Oh, man. Okay, well that's a little bit undignified for Narash, but I think he gets over it as fast as he can. And so he wants to investigate what's at the bottom of this pit because he's heard it might be a trapdoor.
So looking around the pit, you and Kumi, I think Kumi just sort of starts resting on the wall and looking at you like you're an idiot and pointing directly beneath them, and there's you notice that part of the wall here is slightly crumbled, and that is weird in this newish place.
Okay, well then I'm gonna take aforementioned manticore tail and see if I can sort of I don't know, crumble away some of the rocks and see what's underneath.
The wall collapses underneath the weight of your manticore tail and reveals a hidden passageway and a staircase down into darkness.
Hey everyone, there's a hidden pathway here and a stairway down into darkness.
Wait. Nova would like to climb down and assist everyone else.
Yeah, Nova, it's easy for you.
Okay.
It's only 10 feet down. You're no problem.
Yeah, I follow.
Yep, no problem.
What do we see by the light of Nova's shining sword?
Sure, yeah. Let's take a look at what you see by the light of Nova's shining sword. It's a staircase down, probably about probably goes down about another. It's maybe 20 feet ahead. You see a very clear, it doesn't have an end. It just opens up into a hallway down there. This is all still very well crafted and together. From the other side, I guess what I'm saying is from the other end of this secret passage, this would not be a secret. It's very open and clear from the other side. From this side, it's a secret passage. From the other side, it would not be a secret passage. It's just a nice staircase going down to a open hallway. Seems to continue.
Why would you put a passage leading up to a spike trap. Oh, I mean, I suppose it could be a maintenance tunnel so that you can sharpen the spikes. That makes sense, right?
Or clear out dead bodies.
Oh yeah, for looting. Sure, sure.
This could be an easier way into this dungeon, for lack of a better word, but it's also the pit that was the most obvious and open to us from our first entry into the place where we are. Shall we proceed? Do we feel safe about going down here?
I mean, it does kind of seem beneath us to just like hop into the first pit we see, right? Like, you know.
Are there any other staircases going up that we see? That would
Sorry, you're give me some clarity on your question.
Are there any other similar staircases going up in the direction that we came from? Like,
Probably. Okay.
can we see like evidence of other trapdoors leading down?
I mean, you haven't even opened the other pit traps yet. So
Yeah.
right now you still have the raised cobblestones. If you open the other pit traps, then you might see evidence of other things. But
Right, that was
your
my
current perspective, we have not opened enough to have more evidence.
I mean, from the bottom, like you said, we go down a staircase and we're in a hallway.
Oh yeah, sorry, are you going down the staircase?
Oh yeah, I thought we hadn't proceeded.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Yeah, you can go down the staircase. You'll leave the pit trap behind. You find yourself in a curled hallway. Again, there's a large brazier to your right, and down the hallway one side, and a large brazier far in front of you, maybe 60 feet in front of you, both which are lit and giving off green flame. But the hallway seems to turn in various directions. It's a little bit snake-like. So it would be hard to know. You could go forward or you could go right. Yeah, those are your two options.
Okay.
Or you could go back up the stairs and through the pit trap and back to where the original entrance is.
We have this motif of green light and then the emeralds. I think Narash wants to do some sort of Arcana check to see if that is significant in any way.
Absolutely, make an Arcana check.
And I will once again use guidance on myself.
Feel free.
It's 15 plus 4, 19.
Yeah, green is frequently the color that is most often associated with necromancy and undeath. Green flame is a very common aesthetic choice of liches.
Okay.
No, literally necromancy is just is green. Green color. If you cast detect magic on something and it's necromantic, you'll see green lights, that sort of thing.
This was like on their vision board as they were coming up with like planning ideas for the dungeon.
Exactly.
Yeah. Their color, their color concepts.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think green
like pits and green lights.
I think on some level, green of all types of color that you can use, green is the easiest to describe as like sickly. So they choose green light as like sickly, sickly green light. I think really that's what they were thinking. It's also been true in D&D for 50 years now.
So, do we want to check out the other two trapdoors? And also, you said in that main room, there's 3 regular doors that you can see. Is that right?
I'm definitely confused, so I'm going to go through the whole dungeon one more time, just for clarity's sake.
In the room with the pits, did you say that there are 3 regular doors?
There's a set of double doors on the far side, and there are 5 pit traps that you guys have identified. I'll just flat out tell you they're pit traps, one of which you have opened. There are 4 other pit traps.
Okay.
Double doors at the end of the hallway, 4 more pit traps to investigate. Narash's rumor says that 3 of them have secrets in them.
But the one that we've actually gone down was the one that was apparent to us right away, right? As opposed to the others that were secret.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess like my thought is we've had kind of 2 opportunities so far. One would be to just like go straight down to the double doors, assuming we didn't fall into spiked pits, and take the obvious entrance, we've gone to sort of the second option, which is the first and most apparent of the secret doors. So yeah, I guess that's where we kind of find ourselves. And should we reconsider going this way, or should we just move forward?
Well, if there's secrets, I mean, a secret could be something other than a secret passage, right? So maybe we should just, and now that we know how to disable these things, maybe we should just see what we see and then make a choice.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so we all return to the main hallway, or the first hallway, the cobblestone path, we'll call it. There you go, cobblestone path. And the plan here is to purposely trigger the traps. That's the plan. Okay. So you purposely trigger the first trap, and unlike the first pit, which is only like a 10-foot pit drop, this one is a 30-foot drop. Same outline on the bottom, same outline on the bottom, spikes and lasers. Hard to see if there's any sort of secret passage in this second one.
Well, I think I'll shoot the lasers.
You take out the lasers, no problem. They're destroyed.
I'm not sure we've determined this or not. Is Rasha able to take a flying form?
No.
Can Kumi see down into the pit?
Yes, Kumi can see down into the pit, and therefore you can see down into the pit.
Okay. What does Kumi see down there?
This pit is 30 feet deep. It is black. It is dark. There are spikes. There are the lasers that are now destroyed. There's nothing else.
Okay. It looks nothing down there.
It doesn't look. It doesn't see any secret passageways. Doesn't see any secrets. Doesn't see anything.
So, Kumi. I think Kumi just kind of like hops over the pit and does a little like, nothing here dance, and sort of like goes to the next one and is kind of like dancing around it, waiting for it to be triggered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone trigger the third one. Okay. Looks like Timothy triggers the third one, and the third one collapses down, and again we get those sort of blasts of lasers as they shoot at the cobblestones as they come down. Let's see what we got here. And this time, this time the pit is even deeper than the second one. If the first one was 10 feet and the second one was 30 feet, this one is 50 feet down. Wow. So they're getting deep. And this time at the bottom of it, there seems to be a skeleton. Not just any skeleton, but a skeleton of a 6-armed creature on the top and a snake on the bottom.
Ooh. Oh. A Nyogi, maybe.
Maybe.
Is that what a Nyogi looks like?
No, sorry, it's not a Nyogi. You guys would know at this point. A Nyogi is a scorpion on the back and a moray eel on the front.
Do we have any idea what this creature might have been?
Why don't you roll a religion check for me?
Right.
I will assist.
That's
No.
9.
No. A 13 does not give you the information that you are looking for.
I'm imagining that, like, Celexa is, because Kumi's the only one who can see down, so Celexa is basically trying to like describe. She's like, so there's this like wiggly part at the bottom, and it's kind of like a snake, and then there's like these like other like I guess there's like a bunch of arms on this side, and I feel like she's not doing a great job of describing it. It's probably not helping.
An octopus? Are you describing an octopus? Sounds like an octopus.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we do we want to get a closer look?
Yes.
So Celexa will cast levitate and bring the bring the skeleton up.
Yeah. So it becomes very clear to you as the skeleton's brought up that it's humanoid on the top. A humanoid on the top, snake on the back, but the humanoid has 6 human arms. 5 of the arms are holding weapons of various sorts. The 5th one seems clutched into a fist around something.
Nova's gonna open that fist.
Yeah. You open the fist and you find it looks like part of a key, perhaps broken.
Was
Do we think that the other part of the key is down in the pit?
was Kumi able to see any details at the bottom of the pit, like another hidden door, for example?
No, Kumi did not see another hidden door.
Did Kumi see part of a broken key?
No, Kumi did not see another part of the broken key.
Okay.
Note, I'm not having you roll. That's me being as clear as I can.
You didn't give us much, or sorry. Can I take a step back and look at the first pit's body too?
There was the body in the first pit. Yes, absolutely. It is. Yeah, it's easily recognizable. It's wearing the symbol of the Grand Accord.
Okay.
And is one of your people that died. Let's see. Roll a medicine check for me for free.
Okay.
Why I said for free? You always get to everything's free.
11.
Yeah, absolutely. The lasers that shot this thing or whatever probably didn't cause burn marks the way that our dear Thea's lasers have caused people's burn marks. Instead, it seems to be like causing decay. Their skin sags.
I'm gonna prop them up, like next to the door here, so that maybe we can swing by and bring the body back on our way out.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Meanwhile, can we move on to the pit?
Absolutely. You knock open that pit. This pit is super deep. It is 70 feet deep. I don't know how far your dark vision is, Kumi. I think 60 feet. So you might have to let Kumi go down. Oh. Or 120.
120?
Oh, never mind then. Fine. Yeah, I like it. You know me.
It's 130 feet.
Sold.
No, I don't design dungeons like that.
I'm fine with it being like less for the purposes of this exercise.
No, it's totally fine. You have to understand, I like it when you guys have abilities that trump things that I put into the world. That makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm designing things at the right level. If I win everything, that's boring. Okay. Yeah, so it's 70 feet down. It makes me feel like you built your character in a cool and interesting way, you know? Most people don't get 120 feet of dark vision. It's like you do. That's cool. Makes me feel excited about your character. Yeah, so this is another pit that is 70 feet down. And let's see, Kumi sort of looks around there. Can Kumi make a perception check for me? Or you, whichever you want to do. There you go. Ah, there it is. Beautiful. Yeah. Kumi sees that the wall on the eastern side is a little bit cracked again on this thing. Sorry, the wall on the western side of the other one was cracked. The wall on the eastern side of this one's cracked. So it looks like there might be a secret passage in this one going a different direction. Nobody.
Before we try and tackle the much more difficult task of getting everybody down here, maybe we look at the last one just in case.
Absolutely. So you pop open the last one, and unlike the one before it that was 70 feet, this one is 90 feet. It's just like escalating pits going deeper and deeper and deeper. 10 feet pit, 30-foot drop, 50-foot drop, 70-foot drop, 90-foot drop.
The Lich was definitely really excited about this on their vision board.
I mean, I wouldn't you have been? Just be real with me for a second. Wouldn't you have been?
Absolutely.
If you were an evil mastermind and got to design dungeons, which is totally unheard of, no one gets to design dungeons. That's not a real thing. Wouldn't you have been? Yeah, searching at the bottom of this pit, Kumi spots nothing besides the typical spikes and lasers.
I think Kumi is like like dancing excitedly and pointing down to the pit, and Celexa just has to say, don't listen to him.
Kumi's like thinking deep, it's deep, trying to trick someone into going into it. But there's nothing there. And at that point, I think what we have is a very clear, so we've got the way back, we've got the first secret passage, we've got the second secret passage, and we've got the door at the end. And we've got part of a key that we've found. And with all of that information about this room, before we decide which of these secret passages we wish to go down or main door we want to go through, I think we're going to call a break. We'll be back in 10, everyone. Hey everyone, welcome back to Sagas of the Shimmering Seas. This is The Chosen Few. As always, I'd like to take a moment here at the top of the second part of the show to encourage you, yes, you, to think about your situation in the world, how you are situated within the world, and how you can use that situation to help others. It turns out that the world is really, really stressful and really, really difficult to be a part of. And like all the time. Not all the time for everyone, but all the time for someone, it is stressful. And if you can find a way to alleviate even a small portion of that stress, then I think that you are doing something that is truly, truly a good thing. Help a friend move. There's one. Totally random. Not putting that out there for any reason at all. But help a friend move, okay? Or dedicate some time to teach someone a skill that they need help learning or something. Anything that you can do to help alleviate a little bit of suffering, that's something that's a good thing. So you should try and do that. Normally, I like to talk about other show on this channel at this point, but the other show on this channel has come to its rip-roaring conclusion. So instead, I will promote the YouTube page. Sagas of the Shimmering Seas on YouTube has a lot of videos on it. So you can go check out some of those videos. I don't know how well organized they are. They're probably relatively well organized. I assume they're fine. Whatever. You can go check out some of those videos and watch some of the catalog log. That was profound. Anyway, back to this dungeon and all that good stuff. So, you made it through the first room of the dungeon, and now you are in the second room of the dungeon. And the second room of the dungeon is a cobblestone path, and from this cobblestone path, we have discovered that this dungeon is even more complicated than we possibly could have imagined, because there's double doors at the end of this cobblestone path and 2 secret passages out of it, as well as the doors that you came through in the back. You haven't really approached the doors at the end yet, but theoretically there's also a series of pit traps. It's all very secret. You also found part of a key, which I don't know if that means anything, but it seemed not insignificant when you found it. We heard about 3 secrets in these things, and depending on how you look at it, you kind of found 3 secrets.
That thing really wanted to hold on to that key. That's all I'm saying.
Really did.
Really
That weird snake human snake / 6-armed human hybrid, which was dead, really wanted to hold on to the key, holding it tightly in its hand. It also had a bunch of scimitars.
If there was one, maybe there will be more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It also had a bunch of scimitars, by the way, but they all seemed normal. Though fighting something with 5 scimitars at once seems scary on some level, or exciting, depending on who you are. Who am I to judge? He says, making eye contact with Nova. Anyway, that's 3 possible ways deeper into the dungeon that you could go, or you could retreat. What do you want to do?
Well, the in the 4th pit,
Hmm.
can I shoot at the loose cobblestones down there and try to open up the passage?
Absolutely. Yeah, you destroy them and you open up the passage down, and this, totally unlike the other passage, is rough rock. It is not smooth stone built down like a staircase. This is a rough rock passageway that curls messily down. Very different. Let's see, what else? I want to give you a little bit more than that. You also get a scent. What scent are we going to give you? What scent are we?
Lavender chamomile.
Lavender chamomile.
Green papaya.
Oh no. Unfortunately, you get the scent of this is so freaking predictable. This is so predictable that I honestly regret this. Too late now, though. You get the scent of death.
Just to be clear, we're in the cobblestone pathway, and we're correct. And if we wanted to kind of explore that opening that we see, we need to find a way down there.
70 feet down. Yes, Thea has shot it down and then smelled as the wall shatters underneath Thea's mighty laser pistol. A breath of sour, wet smelling air that also smells of death just puffs out a little bit like dust.
I'm imagining I'm imagining Kumi like scampering down or flying down, just to be able to probably not to go too far, but just to be able to look at the entrance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the hallway down there, calling it a hallway is wrong. The cavernous pathway, the Indiana Jones Last Crusade pathway ripoff from the beginning of the temple, where the breath of God is. That pathway's ripoff continues down there. Yes, we're using Indiana Jones references. Anyone have a problem with that? No? Good. Great. Onward. Yes, John.
The is this the same pit that has the scimitar wielding snake
Nope.
person? Okay, the one that has the snake person in it. If we can tell, are there signs that it was like recovered?
Roll an investigation check for me.
Can I assist?
Indeed, you can.
14.
Yes. There are signs that it was recovered.
Okay.
I think you got a 14. Never mind. Sorry, I have give more information on a 17 plus.
So it seems, I mean, Narash actually speaking here, it seems like we need to proceed down through this dungeon, and perhaps our fastest way to do that would be to go in the deepest pit. What do we think?
I'm willing to climb down.
We should at least first open the double doors and at least look, see what's past there. Maybe the thing we're looking for is right there.
I suppose it's good to have options.
So I'm gonna open the double doors.
You walk towards the double doors, and as you get close to it, suddenly a spectral head of a skeleton, a spectral skull, just appears. It's about 8 feet tall from top to jaw, and it shouts at you, "Password!"
Flesh to metal.
Oh, I heard something about this. Okay, big scary guy. The password is flesh to steel.
Turn back now or face certain death. None shall breach the vault of the Iron Lich. And it disappears.
All right, your opinion has been noted.
Very pessimistic. Very pessimistic.
So it just disappears.
Mhm.
Can we still, go towards the door?
Okay, so you go towards the door. Can you make a dexterity saving throw for me?
I sure can.
I will assist.
Nope, there is no assistance on a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, okay.
19.
Sad to say that a 19 is a full success. Sorry, is a failure for you. Wait, is that right? DC 20. Sorry.
Oh man. Okay.
Flame jets shoot out for 22 points of fire damage at you.
Yikes.
Oh.
You're a rogue, so you can half that down to 11.
Okay.
Rogue, bull, whatever. Rogue above level 5 or whatever.
Yeah, my thing.
So, yeah, you still want to open those double doors, or maybe we should go in the back way?
All right. Let's go the back way.
I'm just saying, it seemed like the first passage seemed like, relatively speaking, the more friendly and accommodating. Like so far we have one very smelly rocky hole that's 70 feet down. We have one door guarded by about gouts of flame and a very grumpy apparition. and we have one like relatively well maintained maintenance, presumably body removal maintenance tunnel slash spike sharpening tunnel. I'm just saying it seems like there's a clear choice to me, but
And the clear choice is what?
well, I mean, might as well take the more accommodating. We don't know anything about any of these places. Like that could be the right way to go just as much as any. So might as well, and if it's more comfortable, might as well go that way.
Do we know what set off the trap that that Thea fell into, and can we avoid it now if you approach the door?
The door itself is trapped with the ability to shoot out flames of green flame, and it rolled rather poorly on its damage, and it's a little embarrassed.
Door, you're fine.
But yeah, Nova.
Does it seem like regular fire?
Seems like magical fire.
Okay, is this something that I could control with control flame?
Ooh. I mean, if you want to trigger it again, you could certainly try.
I'm curious what's behind the door, and I have resistance to fire. So, did it burn? I asked Thea. Did it burn like regular fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Smoke is curling up from her hair.
Do we see any way to disable it?
Not from this distance. You might if you got close.
I could try to dispel magic, but it'd be a spell slot. If you have another way to maybe deal with this, go for it.
I will get a little closer and see if I can see a way to disable it.
Why don't you? So you start creeping closely. Well, why don't you roll a dexterity saving throw for me?
Wait, before I see her heading up towards the door. I'm going to. Selexa's going to say, "All right, it's your funeral," and give you a inspiration die.
Okay.
Which I think is D8.
I think you might be a D10, but I've lost track.
Okay, I will double check.
Okay. That's a 9. Plus what was it?
I mean, at most a D10. So and I've already told you the DC is 20.
Okay, well, I'll not roll that then.
Excellent. There's a more respectable damage roll. So that'll be 35 fire damage to you, but you can have that because of your resistance, and you cast control flames, and the flames, some of them, fall immediately under your control. And as they do, they turn from green to red.
Cool. And just to control flame is like a cantrip, right? Okay, cool. Nice.
Got
So
limits on what I can do, but yes. Let me actually pull up the full limits of what it can do. You can expand a flame, you can affect it in the following way. You can instantly expand a flame, you can extinguish flames that are within a 5-foot cube, you can double or have the area of a bright light or dim light cast by a flame, you can change its color or both. You can cause simple shapes to arise within the flames.
can I send the flame like back into where it came from and see if I could like break it?
Yeah, so you send the flame back into where it came from. Doesn't seem like it's going to break from this, but it does seem like it's stuck there right now. Like you're concentrating on holding it there.
Okay. Can I open the door?
So you go to the door. The door is locked.
Timothy throws the broken key at her.
Okay.
I don't know if this works.
Well, could I try the key?
So you go forward. So Thea tries the key. Does not fit into the lock even remotely. Totally different shape.
What do these doors look like?
They've got, I mean, in the most obviously blatant and over the top way, they are very grand double doors with engravings of skulls along them, and the skulls shoot green flames.
Well, could I try to pick the lock?
Absolutely, yeah. Why don't you roll a Thieves' Tools check with dexterity? You
30.
successfully pick the lock. The doors will now open to a push.
All right, and push.
Yeah, absolutely. You push the doors open, and you see before you room D.
Did anybody else hear that, like, that giant skeleton dude, or was that just me?
They all heard that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm
I assume that was in
thinking
character.
rhetorically, yeah, as a rhetorical question.
Mm.
We're just gonna like ignore that and okay, all right.
Well, one way or the other, we're going into this place, right? So I don't know that not going into this set of doors would be any safer than.
Well, it just seems like this is maybe the way they would expect us to come.
Well, they probably would have expected us to fall into a pit and die, but your point is taken.
Okay.
I will also add that, sorry, just for clarity's sake, as Thea finishes picking the locks, Winona, you suddenly feel the control flame is totally unnecessary. There's no more pressure against it. So it's gone.
I'm imagining it was like a psychic version of when you put your thumb, or like a magical version of when you put your thumb against the hot tub jet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. That's exactly what it was. Like just a magical flame version of a hot tub jet.
And you can kind of feel it magically.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just
And then
curious.
the jet turned off.
For Winona, how do you have a control flame? How do you have that as a cantrip?
The dragon taught me.
Oh yeah, last week while you were gone, the dragon taught control flame.
Oh sweet! Way to turn that new skill over.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
It was icky, right?
Icky, yeah.
Oh, icky.
Okay, so what do we now perceive?
Oh, so sorry. So it seems like Slex was encouraging us not to open the doors right away, but it seems like I wanted to like sort of hold for that moment in case that was what was desired, or no. Looks like overruled to just open the doors right away.
We have
Sounds good to me. Thea opens the doors, and you see a grand hall that is decorated with masterfully rendered grotesques and silver tapestries that bear the icon of a helmeted skull. Ornate pillars support a high vaulted ceiling from which several cast iron chandeliers dangle. Darkened balconies rise 15 feet off the ground in each corner. The entire chamber hums with a low, resonant vibration. A massive steel cube, 20 feet to a side, stands in the center of this room, and streams of magical energy leak from a growing rune in a circle in the northwest corner. Do I have a good map? Let's see if I have a good bad map. I have a map. We'll take it.
Map's not a good sign.
I mean, you know, let's be real here. This is a dungeon crawl. Alexa was right. The other options are always better than the front option. Let's just go over that. That's not true. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. It's 125, 130. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know which way you were gonna go, which is totally fair. Okay.
Well, Matt is doing this. Where are we all in terms of how we want to proceed?
I'm still down to climb into a pit. And I think we have rope, so we could tie a rope to the top and climb down that way.
Do we want to try to destroy that rune that's like seeping magic?
I mean, now, now that the doors are open, this place looks kind of cool, right? In like a sort of like, um, somebody was really extra kind of way. So we might as well take a look. We're here.
We don't even have to climb into this room.
We're all
And,
in agreement that
mhm.
the cube is going to become some sort of construct, right? There's no way that that cube isn't evil. And well, evil's a strong word. I suppose constructs aren't. You know what I mean?
It's probably not a friendly cube. I agree.
Right.
And yet, so much work was put into making this room hard to access. It would have been fairly easy for us to climb down one of those pits and proceed that way.
Yeah, but that's with the assumption that like someone would know to climb into a giant pit. I think my guess is that the other pit entrances would take us past several of these levels.
That makes sense, right? I think we have to go probably to the bottom of this structure to find what we're going to find.
Yeah.
So do we want to take the fast way, or do we want to sort of reap whatever benefits might come from dealing with this cube and the rune and such?
Yeah. I don't know. I think as far as like hints that were given, we're looking for an amulet. We're looking for an artifact that some sort of artifact, and we're looking for I don't know, a couple things. I think we've found 2 out of 5 so far.
Yeah.
Can we, Nova? Could you pull out the skull just to see if there's any perceptible change in it? Just being close to this object, or just maybe it's nothing, but maybe we're checking out.
Yeah.
There is no perceptible change.
Puts back in backpack.
Are you examining the rune?
No, we were looking at the skull that we picked up just to see if there was if it gave us any clue. Well, what do you think, y'all?
Yeah, close enough.
I think let's take a look at this room. Slex is going to go and look at the rune.
Yeah, so you start heading into the room and look at the rune, and immediately we are going to trigger combat.
Ooh.
I know.
Get that fishing rod ready.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Perfect. You hear banging or thumping. God, I love a good thump. You hear thumping as a heavy set creature comes down the staircase to the west. It is massive, probably a good 15, maybe 16 feet tall, and built like a giant. It has metal pauldrons on its shoulders, but rocks for fists, and its head seems to be a little physical, like human skull. It's a weird mixture of necromancy, undeath, and mechanicism. As it comes towards you, I would like everyone to please roll initiative.
And I'm clicking on the icon first.
I always appreciate that. But if you
Good
don't,
reminder.
Where am I? Do I have to drag myself on there?
oh, did I not drag you on? Sorry.
Okay.
Sometimes I miss someone. Oh, you got yourself. Great. Mhm. Wow. Good initiatives all around. Oh wait, except for I
There you
have not rolled for these things yet. Mhm.
You'll have to change mine. Sorry.
No worries. 24, 21 is your correct one, or
Yep.
good. Then I do not need to change yours.
Oh,
Wow. Beautiful. Okay, that's what we like to hear. So let's see, Slixa, this massive thing is here, but you also notice that in the corners there seem to be these weird devices that seem to want to be like, they look a little bit like catapults. Slixa, it is your turn.
Okay. Catapult-like things in the in the corners.
Mhm.
Okay. Gotcha. Um all right. Alexa. Um I think this is a good time to do this experiment. Alexa is going to cast Greater Invisibility.
Oh. Okay. Color me impressed.
Uh,
I assume on yourself? Actually, I don't want to get
on yes, on myself.
okay.
And then um um she is going and she's going to call out to um she's going to call out to I guess Timothy
Mhm.
and say uh she's just going to say like oh this looks like trouble, watch out for those watch out for the corners, and she's going to pass Timothy an inspiration die.
Nice. Timothy, you are currently inspired.
And then she is going to move what are these black things? Are they pillars?
Yes.
Is that what's going on? Okay.
Yep.
She's gonna kind of like move over here, that spot there. And then that's her turn, and then Kumi, I think, is going to go and head towards towards the catapult in that corner, and
in the north corner,
in the
southeast corner.
Yes, that one exactly. Kumi's gonna try and head in there, and
nice.
Yeah, and see yeah, what's up with the what's up with the catapult.
Yeah, he wants to roll investigation check.
Yes.
Okay. Kumi gets a free investigation check.
Cool. And shall I roll these checks with their
yes.
Okay, so investigation. Oh, pretty good actually. 21.
Yeah. These things seem to be built into the wall, so you can't get at their supply. But what's in the thing that it looks like it's going to be thrown out seems to be some sort of weird looking leather skinned face that has itself permanently frozen in the scream gesture with like creepy like scream from whatever.
Okay.
Looks like it's gonna land somewhere and scream at things. Looks bad.
Gross. Kumi is going to try and put Roderick right in the path of the catapult and activate it.
Yep. Stopping stopping Roderick right in the path.
And then that will be my turn. That will be
excellent.
that will be Kumi's turn. Yeah.
Timothy, that makes it your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Timothy's going to run in, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. What is this large D?
That's my note that says this is room D.
Got it. Okay, great.
My ability to separate out dungeon master stuff from player stuff is limited to laziness.
No.
Although if Indiana Jones taught me anything, it's that we should definitely try and like destroy the floor underneath that. Yeah.
Okay, so you shouted out about the catapults. Can you tell me about the catapults again? We can't see their mechanism. We can't get to their mechanism.
Yeah, chunks of their mechanism seem inside. The mechanism that throws is outside, but the mechanism of whatever the loading mechanism is inside.
Okay.
There are 3 of them. It looks to you like there was a 4th that was destroyed.
Got it. Okay. I think Timothy's going to try to use an arrow to lodge, like to jam one of the catapults.
Okay. From your angle, it looks to me like you're dealing with northeast. Sound fair?
I think so.
Excellent. Yes, your intent here is to shoot an arrow to jam this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that seems very that seems doable to me. It seems difficult. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a bonus to its AC.
Okay.
To make it slightly harder to hit it in that position. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
Okay, because you're trying to hit it in a way that disables it. I think a success will disable it for a number of rounds equal to above the AC, how far above the boosted AC you get.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if it has like a, I don't know, whatever AC it has, if you get it a 5 above that, it'll be dead for 5 rounds.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Take that shot.
Okay.
Or you could miss. Wait, that's impossible. You're programmed wrong. You have a plus 15 and you rolled an 8 and a 0. That seems impossible.
That is impossible.
Is it minus 20?
Oh, it's minus 20?
You have a minus 20 in there?
Well, there's your problem.
You have a negative 20 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5.
I don't know why that is.
Click the gear icon next to
Yeah.
the item.
Yeah. I did a real good job programming this.
I think you rolled a 13 plus 15, which will be 28. I'm just gonna move forward with that. Yeah. So the thing gets jammed. It is now jammed for just to be honest, 7 turns. So probably not going to be involved in this combat unless you guys really do badly.
Cool.
Was that just one of them?
Yep.
Which one was that?
Timothy jammed the north one. Celexa jammed the south one. The eastern side is now clear. Celexa's magic item has cleared that one permanently because it cannot solve the immovable rod problem. The other one is jammed for 7 turns minimum.
Can I take another shot?
Yeah. What do you want to shoot at?
I can't hit the other catapult, right?
Not from this angle.
Okay. Then I'm going to do a little scouting mission here and shoot the big guy.
Shoot the big guy. Take that shot.
I guess this will be plus 20, whatever it rolls, and I'll try to fix it. Oh, well,
That's a crit.
Nat 20, apparently.
No, it's a 19. But
yeah, but this critical's at 19.
That's nice. Beautiful. Gotta love it. Yes, so that'll be, so you hit it solidly. 15 points of damage, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds right. 2d8 plus 5. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Wait, shouldn't it be 2d8 plus 8? Yes. Yes. Wait, what's your dex mod?
My dex mod is 5.
Okay, so it should be 2d8 plus 8. So it's actually 18 damage.
Okay, I'll try to fix this.
No worries. If you need help, let me know. I can always fix it, but after the game.
Yeah.
No problem. Excellent. So that is that's 18 points of damage. Do you have anything that you're adding to that?
I don't think there's anything I can add currently.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, actually, sorry. As a bonus action, I'll put Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay, we will mark it Hunterly, and if you want to add that d6 retroactively, I'll allow it.
Yeah, thank you.
So that is 20 points of damage to this thing with your cool new bow, which seems to be doing negative 20 to hit. But nonetheless, it seems pretty good. Nova.
Nova's gonna make some really smart choices and is gonna run up to the creature, attack it, and try to restrain it.
You're gonna try and restrain this creature.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Make that attack.
Okay. Alrighty. Alright. First attack. There we go. So 26.
That'll hit for 11 damage.
Okay. And I think I can do. Can I attack it while it's grappled? If I restrain it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will try to. I will try to grapple it. So
Yeah.
Superiority plus athletics. I'll roll athletics first. 18 plus 10 is 28.
Okay. Well, we have a chance here because I get a 30.
Oh, darn. Okay, I'll just attack it 2 more times then.
Feel free.
Okay.
Comes highly recommended.
That's
Squash
a,
this thing like a bug.
that's a crit.
Okay, fine. Squash it like a bug if you want. So that'll be another 19 points of damage to it.
Okay, and 19.
A 19 will a 19 will just hit
Okay.
for another 11 points of damage. Excellent. Is that your turn?
I'm kind of wondering whether I should action surge and try to just keep at it, or if I get that
Depends
back
on your-
if we
okay.
rest. So we could rest after this potentially, right?
If we need to.
If we need to. Okay. Yeah. I'll action surge. And
Action
hit
surge
it
away.
3 more times.
Hit it 3 more times.
All right. 14.
Miss.
That's a miss. 30
It's for another 15.
and 17, which is
Will miss.
Okay.
That your turn?
Yes.
It is going to return the favor by squashing you like a bug.
Great.
Let's see. What do I get to do? Oh, I get to bonus action and attack. Cool. What is my attack? I get ham-fisted strike. Cool. Awesome. Nova, this is against you. I get to take 2 attacks. I'm going to take 2 attacks against you. 22 to hit and 11 to hit.
11 misses.
Sorry, 19 I meant.
19 hits.
19 hits. Sorry, I have a plus 11. I don't know why I said that. Cool. They're going to do. You are not going to mind this so much, I think, as some of your other people. It's going to start with. Let's see. This is the bludgeoning damage first. Do you have resistance to bludgeoning or anything like that?
I have DR3.
Okay. So that'll be 22 minus 3 for 19 bludgeoning damage, and then on top of that, with that first hit, 21 fire damage, which is half to 10 for you.
Okay.
And then on the second hit, that'll be 28 minus 3 is 25 bludgeoning damage. And then again, another 21 fire damage, which is up to 10 for you.
Okay.
How are we seeing this fire damage come about?
Yeah, so the hand smacks into Nova, and as it is in motion, green fire emits from it and just smacks into Nova. Nova, would you like to roll your fire damage back on this thing? Because despite all of its bull, it does not actually have immunity to fire damage. It has resistance. So if you would
The
like to
3 and
3 and 4 from our new D6 fire damage, gotta love it. So that'll be 2 and 2, so it'll be actually 4 damage to it because it's resistant. And now I'm going to use my bone melt sprayer. Let's see, how many people can I hit in this? I can't see Slixa. Slix is a ninja, is that correct?
Invisible.
Invisible. I've got no way of seeing Slixa. So I think, let's see. Let's do this. It comes from here. So I'm going to hit everyone who's not named Slixa or Kumi with my horrible death breath. So I need dexterity saving throws from everyone. Excellent. So Thea, that is a success, and because it's a dex save, that's no damage for you. Timothy, that is a success, so it'll be half damage for you. Nat, that is a failure, so it'll be full damage for our dear Narash. Nova, I need a dex save from you as well.
Okay. All right. Dex save.
That is a success from you, so it'll be half damage to you. This is necrotic damage. 28 necrotic damage. That'll be again 28 to Narash, 14 to Nova and Timothy.
Can I use Uncanny Dodge to have that again?
Indeed, you can. Wait, you have Uncanny Dodge?
Yeah, I got it at 15th level.
Pretty. Oh yes, sorry. Yes. I mix up the two rogue abilities. But yes, you can absolutely have that again. So you can take only 7 necrotic damage if you so desire. Thea, that makes it your turn.
Okay. So is that rune in the top left?
No, it is. Oh, yes. That little pretty rune thing is in the top left. You can see it there.
Cool. Okay. So then I'm gonna move over there, and then I'm gonna use my sapphire gem to cast distance. So it has to pass a intelligence saving throw.
Okay, this is a psychic assault. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I am immune to all things psychic.
Oh. Well, then I'm gonna change my plan.
Oh, fair enough.
I think I'm just gonna hit it with the laser pistol.
Laser pistols are always good.
30.
30 will hit.
Okay. And can I add my psychic blade?
You certainly can.
Oh yeah, it's
Into
immune,
it.
right? Never mind.
Like a butthole. But you can add sneak attack.
Oh right.
Because Nova's a melee.
33.
So that'll be 54 points of damage.
And then I'm gonna hide.
Okay. This creature seems to be like, you see sputtering wisps of magical energy leaking out of it. It's bloodied.
Nice.
In magical construct language. Sure. Okay. Bringing us up to Narash.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna move into the room a bit so that I can see our last little catapult thing. Can I ask? It's just part of the wall. Is that correct? I mean, it's yeah. And is the wall stone? Okay.
Marble, but yeah.
In an attempt to neutralize the last of these, I would like to cast Transmute Rock on the wall around this catapult, turning it to mud, and hopefully just kind of having it fall to the floor buried in mud.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to do this within a range of 120 feet, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
If you're turning it into mud, yeah, absolutely. Okay. So the wall turns to mud, and as it turns to mud, this thing just sort of sinks into it. You can see it like whirring. It's about ready to throw something at you guys, and it like as it does, it sinks into the mud, and like the mud just like totally covers it, and it falls into it, becoming absolutely useless. And like just rows and rows of these weird leather heads start rolling out onto the floor.
So it's kind of spat out its weird little weapon, but it
You
got it.
the let's see, in the wall itself there was like a chamber or a hole that was like a
Oh, I
reload
see.
changer, and so by churning the wall to mud, these things just sort of rolled out, rather than being thrown out like weapons. So yes, you have totally disabled the last of the catapults before the catapults can do anything. This awesome, you know, manipulative power grab that I was shooting for here is totally diffused by the power of Roderick, Timothy, and Magic Stone to Mud. And I have my turn, and you hear as one of these things just tries to hit Roderick, but the machinery is stuck, and you hear this awful janking sound. You hear this other one like trying to clear itself, but like there's this literal arrow in the way, and it's just stuck there, not being able to do anything. These things have become, I think the correct word is useless, and so I will remove them from the initiative encounter entirely at this point. Bringing us back to Celexa and changing this handy, 4-on, 5 fight to instead of 5-on-1. So let's do this thing. Celexa, you are up.
Okay. So I think uh 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, gotcha. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, either way, it doesn't really make a difference. Celexa didn't love the look of that like spray thing. So I think she's going to head up here to where she can see it from behind. And Kumi's going to go with her to be her eyes.
Okay.
And she's going to Eldritch Blast this thing.
Take those shots. I love greater invisibility. You have advantage.
I've never gotten any use out of it yet, so this is exciting.
You have advantage on all of these shots. Also, if you only had invisibility, the first shot would make you visible. But because it's greater invisibility,
here we go.
You get to maintain your invisibility. All 3 of those hit. Gotta love them. Who knows if they would have without advantage? That's 12, 15, and 12 damage. This is force damage, yes?
It is force damage, yeah. And then, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter whether I push it or not with the, yeah, so I guess that's, yeah, just that.
Okay, sounds good to me. I'm impressed. This is going remarkably well for a creature this deadly. This thing pumps out a lot of damage, but you guys having disabled all the problems in the room. Timothy, what do you want to do?
Okay, I'm gonna shoot it with my weird programmed bow.
Cool. Shoot it with your weird program bow. You can also just roll a d20 and let me know
That
what you
might
roll.
be better, but you know.
Okay. Do you have advantage or no?
It has acted. Right.
Sorry, what?
It has already acted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, I do not.
You do have. I think you have a inspiration die if you want to use it. However,
you have rolled an 18, is my understanding, if this is correct. In which case you will theoretically miss, although you know the AC is relatively higher than 18, not much.
I will use the inspiration die.
Excellent. That will turn a miss into a hit.
Okay.
By default, because you would need to roll a 1 in order to turn a miss into a hit. So unless you roll a 0 on a d10, which admittedly it seems like you can do, this will hit it. Roll it.
Wonderful.
So let's see. That'll be 6 damage base. If you want to add 6 for your if you wanted to add a d6 and then a d8, I think is what you got right now.
Yeah. Oh, look at those rolls.
I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you. Those are beautiful rolls.
Yeah. Let's shoot it again.
Okay.
How about oh, that's a critical.
That's an actual critical. Gotta love it. So that'll be
Critical
10
hit.
damage. And then you want to add 2d6 to that for your hex.
I do.
Mhm.
Here we go. Oops.
Plus 9 damage. Darn. Excellent. Anything else on your turn?
And because he didn't like the death breath, he's gonna. Is this a solid wall in the middle? Or no,
Yes, that's the
solid
giant metal cube.
Okay. He's going to step behind it and vanish.
That seems totally like the right call. Nova, I think it's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna just hit him a couple times.
You know, I think that's a great call.
All right,
Maybe 3.
maybe
just-
3 times.
Let's call it that.
All right. That's a
How do you
great.
want to do this?
Yeah, I think in fighting it in close combat, I think Nova has seen like the tiny little spot where she just jabs him right there. He's just
Yeah.
gonna like, explode.
Yeah, the thing explodes. It falls apart, many pieces. Metal pauldron goes flying that way. Skull goes flying that way. Brick hand just collapses right underneath you and then like turns to dust. Whatever magic was holding this thing together is diffused entirely. Congratulations with defeating the butthole.
Is the circle rune still active?
Let's see what we got here. Yes. Magical energy is still seeping from there.
Hey, someone magical want to go check that thing out?
Alexa will stroll over while saying, "I told you guys we shouldn't have come. We shouldn't come in here. We shouldn't open the door."
Yeah, Nova, first thing, sorry, I just want to say for you, as you destroy this thing, the skull you notice had an iron had inside of it a ruby like inside the center of the crown of the skull, not on it, but like in it.
Yeah, I'll pry that thing out.
Yeah, you pry out a ruby, you've got it.
Cool.
So Alexa, you're gonna go check out the rune. Is that what I heard?
Oh,
Nope.
yes, checking out the rune.
Okay.
And then yeah, I think let me do that. So Arcana check?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you get over there and you see that there's a body of a tiefling in the room. They are dead.
Oh, anybody I know?
Don't think so. Yeah, no one you know.
Grand Accord, like livery or anything, or
Yep.
Oh, bummer. And
In fact,
are they?
oh god, this is gonna hurt. Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation. 15.
Yeah, a little bit. You just looking at her there. She like is kind of wearing clothing that's not too dissimilar from your style. And like you don't think you've ever seen her before, but like there's a little bit of like feels a little bit like a fangirl.
Wow. Yeah, that's very sad and uncomfortable. So Alexa will take a moment and just like, I don't know. She's just gonna look at her face and try to remember her face. And then is it obvious? Like, does it look like she was killed by this this construct thing, or
roll a investigation check.
Okay.
Can I help?
Sure. Actually, and I take it back. I actually don't want investigation. I want medicine. I apologize for asking that If you want to keep the same roll and add your medicine modifier, that's fine. Or if you want to reroll, that's fine too. I'm not going to look.
I will. Yeah. Let's see. 1 second. I've got my medicine sucks. So we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
Oh, 8. Yeah.
Well, it's at advantage because you're being helped.
Oh,
Nova has come over to look at the body with you.
cool. So 15.
15, great. So no, this person was not squashed or crushed or burnt.
Mhm.
They seem to have had their life drained from them. They seem to be suffering from, like, if you were to guess, you would say some sort of corrupt spirit or necrotic drain occurred. Probably from the rune itself, probably from the magic of the rune itself somehow.
Okay. I'm going to I think I'm going to cast enhance ability on myself to enhance intelligence, and then
Okay.
cast and then make an Arcana check.
Sounds
if
good
I
to me.
can. Okay. 25.
Yeah. The rune here is some sort of soul cage. It's something that will trap someone's soul, possibly ripping it from their body.
Would I have any idea if, like, it can be dispelled, or if it is dispelled, like, what happens to the souls that have been trapped?
It certainly has the potential of being dispelled. It's relatively high level magic, but not unbeatable.
Okay.
And what happens to a soul that is trapped depends on if it's been collected or not. If someone has collected the soul, then nothing would happen to the soul. If someone has a resurrection spell handy, then you could potentially restore the soul, or even a revivify spell. These things, like, sort of prolong the duration potential of a revivify spell. Otherwise, it might just allow the soul to move on and not be trapped by an evil being anymore.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Should I try and dispel this thing? Like, is that a priority? What do y'all think?
Timothy's down.
My only thought is, if we need the spell later, maybe we could use this on the way back out of the. I don't know. Unless we want to try to revive her and have her come with us.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering. Like, it seems weird, the idea that it would, like, just be here. Matthew, does it seem like it was here as, like, an additional trap, like, as, like, in addition to the catapults, it was here to, like, surprise people, or, like, it seems a little obvious for a trap, is guess what I'm saying.
I agree with that sentiment.
Okay. So I feel like there might be more significance to it.
Like it ties to a larger power that we're trying to weaken.
Maybe, yeah. Or, like, it could be used against us in other ways, or, like, triggered in other ways. Yeah, okay. So let's try this, just to try it. Slexa is going to cast enhance ability again on herself to enhance her charisma.
Okay.
And then she is going to attempt to dispel magic.
Okay. Can you roll a charisma check for me at advantage? The DC is 16.
Can I use guidance on this?
Yes.
I will then. Yeah.
Narash comes over and places a comforting hand on you.
So 20. Oh wait, no.
It's
I
just a
get to-
charisma check. It's not a save, so it doesn't get your proficiency.
Okay.
So it'll be +5 though. Still,
But
so that
it'll
you roll-
be also, I think because
24.
of Jack of all trades, it's half proficiency.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that'll be
27.
24, 27 plus a d4 if you want, but that's a success.
Okay.
No problem,
So-
no doubt.
Okay. So
So the rune on the floor dissipates to your magic. What does that look like?
well, I think that the enhanceability is kind of a way that she forms a strong, like she kind of focuses in on her connection to her source of magic to like bolster a particular part of herself, right? And especially like with the especially when she's enhancing her charisma, which is her like spellcasting ability. It's like kind of a sort of like gathering power sort of thing. And so she she just kind of like takes a quiet moment to herself, and then reaches out her hand, and the I think the light from the rune just kind of like starts to get kind of muted and dimmer, and presumably, I don't know, it goes away entirely, but
it goes away entirely. It dissipates entirely, and what's left is some of the light that seemed to be leaking from it is now floating in the air, and you see in that light a form of a tiefling. And you hear it speak, and she says, "Oh my gosh, I can feel things again. What happened? What happened?" And I think that's where we're going to stop today's session. There we go. Let's hand out some exp and all that good stuff. We're out of time, so let's do that thing. Let's see how we are doing on our exp stuff. Good. Let's see. How are we doing on our exp stuff? Oh wait, where's the darn stuff questions? Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. I know how this works. Blah blah blah. Where I don't even know. There it is. Okay. Okay. Today, guys, did you strengthen, help, or guide the Grand Accord or its allies for the better?
Kind of hard to put a finger on the answer to that.
I think the answer is no.
well,
Although I'm happy if someone wants to correct me. Go for it, Slixa.
I mean, unless you count this Grand Accord representative whose soul was trapped in a soul gem.
There. Yeah. You know what? That's
that one particular.
Yeah. Saving one member of the Grand Accord, one acolyte of the Grand
Saving their
Accord.
soul and yeah, at
I'll
least.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll take it. Excellent. Did you address a challenge in a creative or surprising fashion?
Yeah, with all the catapults.
Yep, I totally agree. I'm gonna give 2 points for that if everyone's down for that. There was lots of creative solutions there. Did you uncover or learn anything new about your enemies? Did you find a way to weaken your enemies in a significant way?
We learned about the that they're like a mix of of the like constructs and undead kind of thing. We learned
Mhm.
about that, but that was also kind of given to us. So I don't know if that's
Yeah, I don't know if
counted.
you uncover that or if it was just
Oh,
like someone
okay,
told you that.
that's fair. Oh,
Winona?
Oh,
You-
in a similar way, we learned those secrets, but those were also kind of given to us.
Yeah.
Timothy learned that there's an aberration.
You know what? Yes, I'll take it. Deal. I want you guys to know that I may cheat. I'm gonna go search the tomb for an aberration. If there isn't one, I'm
Aberration.
adding one. Just for the record, I'm gonna cheat. Okay. I'm not a fan of that, but I'm just making sure that Timothy's thing that I answered that way actually is true. Okay.
Mhm.
So if there's a random beholder in there that I didn't put in there originally, it's Timothy's fault. You can blame him.
All die at the hands of an aberration. Oh man, how
It'll
sad
be
would
very,
that be?
that'd be very unfortunate. Excellent. Did you overcome a challenge not included above?
We figured out the pits.
Yeah, MacGyvering the mirror was pretty cool.
MacGyvering the mirror was pretty cool. I'm totally down. All the pit stuff, that was awesome. Good, clever work there. Kumi running down everyone, fishing, pulling a mirror down with telekinesis to back it up. All that stuff was awesome. I'm totally down. And then Timothy, your guiding light.
Well, I feel like if given the opportunity, I'm going to revivify this person,
Mhm.
but it's not happened yet. But I will say I'm planning to make a pile of other dead bodies at the front of the tomb to take them back. So maybe yes.
Maybe yes. Oh yeah, sure. I'm done. I'll give you credit for that. Nova.
I think Nova threw herself into danger.
I strongly agree. There was a giant freaking thing that was like shooting flame, and you charged at it and tried to grapple it and attacked it. I would call that throwing yourself into danger. I would also say that like you were like, oh, I'll go down the pit. You know, you were always the first to volunteer for that sort of thing. So yeah, 100%. Thea.
Yeah, I think we all worked together very well today.
I agree. Some nice teamwork in this little dungeon crawl that we got here. I'm a fan. Selexa.
No,
Yeah.
And I expect that it may not be relevant in this dungeon,
Yeah.
which is fine.
I actually think because of the purpose of the dungeon,
Mm.
completing the dungeon will get you a point there, right?
Okay.
Because yours is the meta plot to me.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, but like part of the dungeon here is Illumina Starborn. Illumina Starborn is part of the overarching plot.
So at the end, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
the
for
end
now,
thing, like,
no.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And Narash.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as Alexa as far as my, like trying to work things out about relationships of the Empire and such. It's not as relevant to what we're doing right now.
That seems right to me. It is happens sometimes in a good old fashioned dungeon crawl, but still 8 points. That's not nothing, and that's not even your worst day. So we'll give you credit for that. And excellent work, guys. Hope you're enjoying. God, a good old fashioned dungeon crawl. I miss dungeon crawls. Dungeon crawls are great. I love dungeon crawls. I think I could just run dungeon crawls all the time, and I would be happy.
Super fun. I'm glad we're doing this.
Excellent. Go live good and happy lives. Take care of yourselves as best you possibly can. Get help when you need it. Ask for support. You know, if you can, be saved by other people sometimes as well as saving yourself. And as always, the best advice that I can possibly offer you: don't forget to call your cat and feed your mom. Take care, everyone.